Hi, I'm Sage. Welcome back to the Addictive Wellness Channel. Today we're going to be talking about one of my absolute favorite herbs, and that is lion's mane mushroom. Now, if you're on a vegan diet, don't worry. This has nothing to do with the actual animal of the lion. This is completely different. It's a mushroom. It just is called that because it has the beautiful appearance somewhat like a lion's mane. Now, this mushroom also goes by other names. It's known as the monkey head mushroom. It's known as the bearded hedgehog mushroom, the pom-pom mushroom, because it looks kind of like a cheerleader's pom-pom. So it's known by many names, but it's all this one incredible mushroom. And in terms of where you find it, it's going to be growing on hardwood trees, especially oak, beech, and maple throughout North America, Europe, and Asia. So there's a lot of places in the world you can find this, and a lot of history of traditional cultures using it. Now in China, it was kind of rare, so it was really reserved for royalty, and now it could be prepared in a variety of ways, made into an extract. They would do it in tincture form for maximum bioavailability with the technology they had at the time, or it can even just be sliced up fresh and grilled or fried. There's a lot of ways to prepare it as a culinary mushroom, and it's actually quite delicious with an amazing texture to it. So while you're going to get the most serious health benefit from taking it in an extract form, either in a tincture or an extract powder, which is just basically a tincture that has been spray dried into a powder form, you can also, and should at some point see if you can find a farmer's market near you where there's somebody that grows lion's mane mushrooms and brings them for sale, so you can at least once experience this and see if you love it as much as I do. Now, traditionally, this was, of course, used for cognitive health, but also for other things in the body. It was traditionally used to harmonize the stomach and digestion and be very soothing to the mucous membranes, and you can really kind of tell that when you're eating it and you feel what a soft texture it has. It kind of gives you an idea that this is probably going to be very soothing as it proceeds through your body. And then it's also helpful in looking at the Chinese organ system. It's helpful for the spleen, the stomach, the heart, liver, and kidneys. So this is working on a lot of the different organ systems in the body. Now, looking towards the modern world of research on lion's mane, the primary focus has been on cognitive performance and long-term cognitive health. There's a few other areas of research that we'll get into afterwards, but I want to talk about these first because this is the big area where the predominant amount of research has been done. So it's definitely found to promote mental clarity, focus, and memory. This is one of those things that it has certainly an immediate and a short-term effect to it, and then also a long-term cumulative building effect that just gets better and better as you take it over time. There's two main active compounds that you find in lion's mane. Of course, these are not the only compounds you want, because you also want this whole host of different biological cofactors that you find in there. But the two main compounds are called herinisones and erinacines. And those obviously come in word origin from the Latin name of this mushroom, which is Hericium erinaceus. And these are found to stimulate the growth of nerve cells and brain cells, which is just amazing, especially in this modern world where we are seeing an absolute epidemic of long-term cognitive decline, especially in the elderly, but it's, even in people in the middle stages of life, unfortunately, are starting to experience this. And there's a whole host of factors contributing to it. But lion's mane is certainly showing great promise as something that can be very, very helpful. It's providing central nervous system support and cerebral support, and it's stimulating nerve growth factor production. This is what helps us to regrow and heal our own nervous system and keep our own nervous system very healthy. And then it's also increasing another thing that works in much a similar way called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And this is actually maybe in some ways even more interesting than NGF, the nerve growth factor, because this is actually improving neuroplasticity and brain plasticity, which is helping your brain cells stay resilient in the face of stress, in the face of aging, in the face of all other kinds of challenges like toxicity. So having something that you can take in that's helping with BDNF is just amazing. Of course, there's other ways to support BDNF, other herbs, other supplements, exercise, but lion's mane is just absolutely fantastic in that department. And, I just want to say a lot of this research has been done on mice rather than humans, but so far the research that has been done on humans as well is very much supporting the accuracy and validity of the animal research. So it's going to be very exciting to see, over the course of the next 10 years, how the human research continues to develop here. And another thing to understand is you have this aspect of your nerves and your brain called myelin and the myelin sheath. This is basically, if you imagine the nerve as being like a wire, and you have the myelin sheath, which is the covering of that wire, and this is formed up of good fat. So that's why it's important to have good fats in your diet. But what this lion's mane mushroom does is it improves myelination. So it's allowing your body to bring the proper ingredients to form that myelin. And as you have more myelin on your nerves, what happens is, first of all, they're more protected, so that's great, and it also allows the signals to travel along them faster. So this is just one thing after another. Lion's mane for the brain is just spectacular. And it's not just brain health that it's working on. As I said, that's the main area of research, but it's certainly happening in other areas. For example, with the immune system. So like all these other medicinal mushrooms, like reishi and chaga and turkey tail, cordyceps, it has these long-chain polysaccharides called beta-glucans that very much improve the natural intelligence of your immune system. So there's that aspect of how it's working on immunity, but it's also very helpful for the gut, and it's having great beneficial supportive effects on a healthy gut microbiome. So when we're working on our white blood cells and the gut microbiome at the same time, that's really a great 1-2 punch for a fantastic immune system. And then looking at diabetes, it's found to help lower blood sugar, and this has predominantly been done, as I said, in animal studies, but it's lowering blood sugar in normal and diabetic mice, and also helping with diabetic nerve pain. So not only is it helping, preventatively, but, if you're in the unfortunate stage where you have diabetes and are dealing with nerve pain because of it, lion's mane can be very interesting here. And this is kind of a crossover of where, helps with blood sugar and then also helps with the nervous system health at the same time. So it's also found that when mice have experienced nerve damage due to crushing injuries, I feel really bad for the mice in these studies, of course, but we might as well at least take the knowledge that was learned from it and apply it. They found that they would heal much faster. So another thing we're seeing so much in the modern world is people experiencing traumatic brain injuries, right, from sports, from car accidents, and I really think lion's mane should be a core part of any healing protocol that comes after such an injury. So you guys, if you've tried lion's mane before for any period of time, I'd love to hear what your experience is, or if you're just now trying it for the first time, let us know in the comments how it's going for you. I always love to hear what your experiences have been like. And I take this for the short term, for the immediate effects, and take it long term, because nothing is better than living into old age with a brain that is sharp and just firing on all cylinders, right? If your brain begins to decline, everything in life just is no longer going to be as fun. So take good care of your brain and make lion's mane a core part of that. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. We'll see you next time, and hope you all have a wonderful day.